I want you to need me in everything. I want you to feel me like the air you breathe. I want you to see me in your every dreams, the way that I see you, taste you, feel you, need you. I want you to meet me.
Shut up! I need you to shut the fuck up!
It's not my fault. For the past 4 months, my neighbor has interrupted every good night's sleep I have attempted to have. My neighbor's name is Lulu. Lulu Santiago. Lulu is Filipina, a transvestite, and a local karaoke champion. And by local, I don't just mean the Bay Area or even San Francisco. I mean local. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, last Christmas, she majorly upgrades her karaoke machine, so now the bass is like 3 times as loud, and the echo holds the notes for 2 minutes after she's done singing. I have freaking had it. Come in. Oh, hi. I'm your neighbor. You sing beautifully. Always go in with something positive. But your new karaoke machine is just impossibly loud to sleep through. You don't like me. You don't like me because I do drugs. Drugs! Drag? It's not your wigs keeping me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's the karaoke. But I have to sing. You know, back in Manila where I come from, I am a big star and people pay a lot of money to hear me sing. Really? I have never been to Manila. I love your envelopes. But here, we get the cops involved when neighbors can't work out their noise problems. So the system that Lulu and I worked out was that she could do her karaoke as long as I wasn't sleeping. If I was sleeping, I could run into my bathroom, which has this screen that goes right to Lulu's apartment, and if I scream, "Shut the fuck up," or anything that echoes enough, she would stop. She would stop singing, and then the echo would hold the note for a minute or 2 more, and then I would finally get some peace. This system has been working beautifully for like months now, but just recently it started up. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. First the echo, and then the bass. And so I ran into my bathroom, I opened up the vent, but something happened. Something happened that took me back years ago when I was 24 years old. It's 1989, and I'm living in Manhattan, walking my adorable Doberman puppy Nico from the dog park in Washington Square to my fabulous apartment. I've got a very successful consulting business, body fat's down to 11%, had a gorgeous boyfriend, Tommy, who adores me. When I arrive at my building, all the doormen clamor to let me in. I was very generous last Christmas. I cross the marble lobby and step into the elevator. When we arrive at my floor, I set little Nico free and swing open the double doors to my apartment. I just painted everything 3-tone gray, so it looks like a black and white movie from the 1940s. Everything's perfect for Tommy's arrival. He'll be here in a minute. Tommy has been on this very successful bus and truck tour of the Broadway hit Cabaret. He's been crisscrossing the country, and we've been apart for months, and it's been difficult. But he's coming home tonight. And next week, Next week is our 3-year anniversary. 3-year anniversaries are huge for gay A-list Manhattan couples, like Tommy and I. If you make it to 3 years, it means your relationship is legitimate. And if you reach that point, you're a shoo-in for all kinds of documentary work. So 6 o'clock rolls around, then 9 o'clock, then Thursday. At a certain point, I get up and I look in the refrigerator, and all I can find is this old package of hot dogs. So I start tearing off little pieces and throwing them to Nico, and then taking little bites myself. Until pretty soon, the package of hot dogs is empty. Nico's passed out on the floor. And I realize, Daddy's not coming home. Apparently, the long separation from me made Tommy realize how much he missed this other guy he'd been fucking around on me with for about a year. Getting dumped wasn't really the big deal. It was that he was in love with somebody else. That somebody that I thought was in love with me could actually be in love with somebody else. It just tore me apart. A gay A-list Manhattan breakup, such as the one that I'm going through right now, comes with a very specific set of rules. Rule number 1, if you're going to be dumped, it had better be for someone richer, hotter, and or more famous than you. Preferably all 3. Tommy dumped me for a travel agent / ecstasy dealer. Rule number 2. You can always rate how bad a breakup is by how shitty the music is that makes you fall apart when you're going through it. If you are getting all moist-eyed to like Air Supply or anything on Light FM, it's not good. I did what I have always done to get me through the toughest times of my life. I booked a beauty appointment. A beauty appointment consists of getting myself waxed, which everyone in my Sicilian family, male or female, needs to start doing at about 12 or 13 years old. It's like therapy for Sicilians. My current waxologist is this big, strapping Russian woman, Diana, D-Y-A-N-N-A, who wears these huge glasses from LensCrafters and runs a shop in the West Village. Enzo, wonderful to have you back, darling. Make yourself comfortable. Darling, I forget. You prefer cock, yes? Coke! Yes, Coke. Yeah, Coke is great. Small cock or large cock, darling? I'll take the biggest one you got. I don't see why you let yourself get this way over some guy. Why you don't do what everyone in Manhattan does after a bad breakup? You fly out to San Francisco and be a huge whore for a week. Diana, do you have any idea how difficult this is for me emotionally? I have seen some really, really cheap airfares. So that was it. I booked this spontaneous trip to a part of the world I never even imagined I would visit. San Francisco, California. In 1989, people were afraid of going to New York, and what they didn't realize is that Manhattan was full of people that were terrified of leaving. I'm one of those people. And no place seems scarier to me right now than San Francisco or anywhere in California. We've got this brand new 24-hour news channel called CNN, always talking about California. And it's never anything good. They just had this huge earthquake out there, and there's riots, and it seems like there's a mudslide every Thursday and an earthquake every Friday. You don't realize how big California is because all the towns sound so Mexican-ish. So from JFK touches down at San Francisco International Airport on this unseasonably warm February in 1989. My very nice taxi driver is taking me on this whirlwind tour of San Francisco as we wind our way to my hotel. The Hotel Atherton in the Union Square / Tenderloin part of San Francisco. Everyone said that this was the New York part of San Francisco. I guess if your definition of New York is full of homeless people and smelling like piss. I arrived at the Hotel Atherton. I'm so excited to check in. The first thing that I notice is the desk clerk bears this uncanny resemblance to George Washington, like from a dollar bill. And I'm not really sure whether I should say anything about it, because George Washington isn't really like a hot celebrity. She looks like she's really, really busy. It's a few hours later, and I'm waiting for my bus in the Union Square / Tenderloin part of San Francisco, checking out the street light for the first time. And the first thing I notice is the gay guys are like really, really gay here. like village people gay. And even the drags, it's like nothing I've never seen before. I've lived in cities my entire life. I've lived around drag queens my entire life. But every place I've ever lived in or even visited, well, first of all, they wait for the sun to go down. Here, it's like the scream of daylight, and wigs are like optional, and 5 o'clock shadow, no problemo. And if you don't actually have women's clothes, you can just take a man's shirt and wrap it around your waist. There's this very do-it-yourself, unfinished look to the drag in the Union Square / Tenderloin part of San Francisco. The bus is taking forever, and I spot a payphone across the street, so I decide I'll access my messages back home in Manhattan. That's what we used to do in the 80s, kids. We'd access our messages. And there's a message from Tommy. I haven't heard his voice since we broke up. He sounds desperate. He wants me to call him back right away. He sounds like he might want to get back together again. That son of a bitch, after what he's just put me through, I'm going to call him and leave him a voicemail of my own. Motherfucker. Only he picks up. I love you, and I miss you. I'd do anything to get back together. Without you, I'm nothing. This is Enzo. Who's this? Could I speak to Tommy, please? Oh, hi. Oh, don't pay attention. I was just playing around before. He sounds just like you. Do you guys dress alike too? I'm sorry I didn't call you back sooner. I've been out here in San Francisco, being a huge whore and loving every minute of it. So what did you want? Oh. Oh. Sure, I could babysit for Nico while you guys go to London for the weekend. Yeah, we had such a great time there. I can see why you would want to share that with somebody else right away. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of days. Can we work out the details then? Okay, bye. I am a huge, huge asshole. The bus finally arrives, and we start down this massive wide boulevard in San Francisco called Market Street. The bus driver is telling me all the locations that we're passing. And right now, we're coming into this place called UN Plaza. They also call this place Urine Plaza. And this is where the farmers' markets are held every Wednesdays and Sundays. Like I say, it's this astoundingly warm day for February, and there's all these beautiful kiosks, and there's fruits everywhere you look, and there's produce. And I'm just sort of taking all of this in when suddenly the bus driver slams on the brakes and everybody flies forward. What had happened was, One man chased another man out into Market Street, and when he caught him, he started beating him repeatedly with a 10-pound bag of potatoes, which the man had stolen from his kiosk at the farmer's market. And I learned that it is a long-standing tradition to beat the person with whatever they take from you if you catch them. So you go for the lighter items or you pay those people. Because they will fuck you up at the farmer's market. 10-pound bag of potatoes cost like a couple of dollars. They snapped this guy's spine. It was hardcore. At the next stop, this young and unusually tweaky Asian girl boarded the bus with some purchases over one hand from the farmer's market, and in the other hand, a live thrashing chicken, which they sell at the farmer's market. Looking around the bus, freaked out. Now, the bus driver is one of these salty African-American long-term veterans of Muni, always remains calm in a crisis, always stays polite, and he says to the girl, "You can't bring any animals on the bus except for seeing eye dogs." She's not saying anything for a while, and I'm starting to think, maybe she doesn't speak English. When she spoke English, she talks like Courtney Love. "Don't fucking do this to me, man. I gotta get this chicken home." Something about the Sutter Stockton Tunnel. And the driver said, "Ma'am, I can't change the rules for you. No animals on the bus except for seeing eye dogs." So she cranks that chicken's neck right there at the fare box. It says, "It ain't an animal anymore, man. It's just meat." Any laws against bringing meat on the bus? And she sat down in her Muni chair, and I watched that chicken go. And I thought about how many fucked up things I'd seen in the space of just a few hours. I thought to myself, I could totally live here. And that was it. I returned to San Francisco a few weeks later, got an apartment in that same Union Square/Tenderloin neighborhood where I live to this very day. Cute story, but what does this have to do with your Filipino tranny neighbor who's just been waking you up all the time? This last time, when I ran into the bathroom and opened up the vent, instead of hearing the usual Celine Dion show-stopping karaoke ballads, I heard a song by Air Supply. You gotta understand, in the years I have been here, everything about me is different now. I have this new apartment, a new outlook, and a city I fucking love. Yet whenever I hear Air Supply, it takes me back to a time I thought no one would ever love me again. I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, and I'm thinking of you till it hurts. And there's no easy way, it gets harder each day. So love me or I'll be gone, I'll be gone. I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, be leaving for so long. Well, she doesn't sing it that way, she sings it more like, I'm all out of love. I know you were right, be leaving for so long. I'm all out of love. Without you, it can't be too late to say that I was so wrong. I hope you and that travel agent are real fucking happy, baby. So wrong.